Hello and welcome back to Sabaody Showdown. It's me, DJ Cole, and I'm here with Freddy, second time commentating with me, and I'm really excited to have you here again. Welcome. You're going to have twice the fun today because we're going to be doing two games in a row. First off, we're just about to go live with Asmir and BenC playing, and we have the surprise element of BenC not actually being on an L this time round. So we're going to get some fun. And it's actually a deck that I feel you're somewhat partial to, Freddy. How are you feeling about this first game today?
Yeah, happy to be back. And I mean, I love Blue Yellow Nami. It's such a fun deck to cook with. I keep bringing it to locals with a different build every time. So I love that someone's brought it on stream. I really hope they do well. But then we have Asmir on, I don't know, some other deck.
Never heard of it, right? It's not like it's the most popular and
It's not very
powerful
meta.
deck right now. Yeah, it's kind of taking on the boogeyman of the format, which it's hard even when you have a good matchup sometimes. I'm not too familiar of how well or badly Nami does into it. I think it struggles a tiny bit. But you need to have a plan into this if you're planning to play the game at least more than 4 rounds in a row, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, it really just depends on how aggressive Nami can be early on. If he can take that early life, and honestly, it's how many ACOS kids Ben can find, I would say. Because if he can start taking that life early and basically putting Asmir on, you have to have a 9 cost Linlin here, or I will red rock an 8 cost Kuzan and still go for game with my big bodies. And even if they do heal with the Linlin, you can just 8 cost kid it again. So it can be pretty rough for Snake Man if the Nami is aggressive enough. But as we all know, that blue purple Luffy can stabilize pretty well in the late game.
Yeah, it's basically running against the clock. Like eventually, just that those two filter draws per turn are just gonna like get rid of you. There's no way if you don't set them on a spot where you can map the lethal into 3 turns of snowballing. There's no way you're gonna come back. If you get to the point where they have better board than you, it's pretty much over unless you just kill them on the clapback, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
okay. We're getting things started with aggression from Nami. They're going first.
Wow, that's a take from the Luffy. I definitely expected a counter there. But Nami gets the hit in and gets the draw from leader ability. Very good there. And a
Yeah,
Hiyori just to seal that top life. Very nice.
interesting. Do we have? Is that a Kiku? Is that what we're going for here?
We're
Just to
hoping
be
that's a Kikunojo. That would be amazing to see.
I think that's probably your best setup right now, isn't it? Like, otherwise, I don't really see a reason to play that Kiku.
Yeah, Kikunojo is such a good card in this matchup, especially if you can get it down off the Hiyori on top of your life. Because you know it's always going to trigger with the Snake Man Luffy being at 3 life and it being a 6k stat line mean it's just so good for poking into Luffy as well. And then it's so sticky they can't kill it without giving you another life. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it would be amazing to see Kikunojo. Um yeah, we'll see. Maybe it incentivizes a Luffy not to swing. Might be a big bluff on the Nami here. Because if I'm Luffy here, I'm thinking, oh, did he start Kikunojo on life? If I hit into this now, that could pile on the aggression that I don't want. So I think
Mm-hmm.
maybe Asmir might have second thought about attacking. And it looks like he does. He stops the attack.
Ooh.
And the Zeus is here to KO the Dofi. I don't think that was a Kikunojo on top of life. That was such a good bluff by the Nami there.
That's definitely some good plays. Basically, just turning your 2 game hand into 2 game board effectively, right? And I guess Zeus being the card now, it's a bit annoying in a sense, just because that setup is no longer there. So now there's no reason not to attack life for the for the blue purple Luffy. So that basically means that you countered out of a possible 10k. I guess
But
you
you say that,
guaranteed.
but another Hiyori comes down. Could it not
Oh
have
my
been
god.
a bluff? Is this now a Kikunojo? The mind games are real here.
Yeah. Also, like we didn't talk about this, but the blocker on Asmir's side actually sent things down, so he didn't find what he was looking for specifically. Ooh, really like this actually. Not the Luffy play, but the fact that we didn't have Kikunojo there or like any relevant body at this point, right? Basically means that that God thread is just ramp. It's getting rid of a Zeus, which could have attacked, I guess, at some point in the game, but it's fairly unlikely. So Nami is kind of in a decent spot now, right? We chipped away while alive. We taken two cuts for the swing, like well, one card for the swing before, and we're still deterring aggression. And now,
Absolutely. I mean, a perfect follow up here from Nami would have been the 6 cost big mom we know he runs in his deck, but instead, this is going to be an 8 at life. I think this might be a take here, unless Luffy's willing to drop some cards out of his hand.
we could
But with
see.
4 Don left, this might then be a Kikunojo played straight from hand.
Mhm.
Oh,
Oh,
pudding! Oh, that feels so bad for the Luffy after taking the life.
that's gotta be clipped. That's solid old reminder of why pudding is a dangerous card not to respect. I'm not sure that Asmir could have really respected on this spot. I feel like if he had a gear 2, he definitely just drops it for that 8 immediately, right? And giving two cards would have been somewhat troublesome. So yeah, but still, now we're basically down to luck of the draw. We got 6 new cards on our turn, and we need to somehow make this work. We are reaching the 8 on
Absolutely.
turn.
And I'm not sure how much Don Luffy is on at the moment. Doesn't look like he has enough for his leader ability, so
No,
this
I
could
think
be a
it's like
really good turn for Nami to capitalize on.
we. Oh no, it might be 7. No, 9. Yeah, that's it. It's 9, right? Because we went second and we got ramp off the God Thread on
Of
5
course,
to
of
an army.
course.
No.
So we could see an Akos Katakuri come down here, leave 1 Don up. No, it's going to be a Bon Clay gets that ramp. I'm not sure how useful that'll be. The Bon Clay is a pretty nice body if he goes up against an 8 cost kid, becomes a 9k attacker. But the ramp is definitely not super useful in this spot.
Mm. And this is dangerous territory as well, right? Like this is where mom or kid are definitely gonna be quite troublesome. Huh.
Absolutely. An 8 cost kid coming down now would be devastating for the Luffy. Like I said earlier, it forces the Luffy to have a 9 cost Linlin here to heal back up that life, to put him in a more comfortable situation. Otherwise, 0 life. And that Nami blocker isn't that scary to the blue yellow Nami. We saw the Zeus earlier. We know he also runs Nojiko, very powerful 2 drop bounce as a 5k to hand. So this blocker isn't a huge threat to the Nami. So if we see an 8 cost kid come down, Nami would be in a very good position. But looks like it's
Ooh,
6 cost Linlin instead.
timing is interesting. That could have been a top deck, or could have been just a bit more beneficial to run the pudding play last turn, knowing that we were a bit bricked, right, of the initial couple swings. So we are burning that life.
That is surprising. I thought the Luffy would have trashed 2 cards to save that life. The Luffy really wants to be on a higher life total here just so he has the time to stabilize. But now Nami's just going to run in here, try to get
Mm,
some cards out of his hand. And he plays,
uh,
there's the Nojiko as well. This Luffy's in
yeah,
a pretty bad position here, I would say. What do you think?
yeah. I'm not happy with where they're looking at this. Like it does feel like there are some avenues to victory, right? Specifically, Linlin to deal with Linlin might be the stronger play, but we kind of need to start setting a board, right? So unless we got some Sanji into Linlin shenanigans to go, we are pressed on this spot. We need.
Absolutely. I think, yeah. Oh, his Katakuri blocker, though. Is that going to be enough
Okay.
to save him? I think a well timed Red Rock here could really hurt the Luffy.
Yeah, we do have two respectable bodies, so Red Rock's definitely gonna be somewhat trouble. I guess that means we are able to go 8-9 if we want to after the Red Rock, or like maybe even 10-7. Or just chipping one card. Okay.
Okay, it doesn't look like he has the red rock then. Otherwise, I think that would have gone. No, there it is. Red
Yeah, I
rock's
guess
the category, gets it out of here, and then just swings big with the Linlin 10 into 6. Going to demand a Gum Gum Giant and another counter here.
which means we got two cards out of hand, so the hand size from Luffy is not really growing. We have digged a bit deeper with that Gum Gum Giant, though we did know the cards up top, but we now get to see even farther with 5. Hmm.
True, and again, Luffy's in the same spot here where he needs to find an 8 cost category again, could do it, but then it's just putting Nami again on if they have the red rock,
Yeah.
which isn't super likely. I believe they're only running 2 copies of it in the deck. Yeah, 2 copies, so maybe they don't have another one in hand. 9 cost Linen as well, like you says, deals with that 6 cost Linen, and heals him alive, so that could put him in a pretty good spot here. Otherwise, if he doesn't have those, he's in a pretty bad position here.
There we go. We did find her.
Of course, excavating top 5, you're always going to find your answers, aren't you?
Yeah, there's nothing more powerful than like basically getting a search person on this game. All of the decks that we've seen do that are extremely consistent. You kind of cannot really hope for them to break. That's just not part of the plan. So she was eventually going to come down and she deals with herself, which is kind of funny flavor wise. Um, okay, now is when the grind genuinely believes for starts for Ben. He's managed to put the pressure exactly at the right times, but now we're back to one life. There's no blocker, so we do have that, but we do have one done as well. And an even split with pudding is not very terrifying. So we gotta see how we deal with this now. Okay.
Oh, Zeus to take back the 6 cost Big Mom. That's such a good play here.
And replay her.
Trash is putting from hand. Trash is alive again. This could be 7 at life. Force out a
Mm-hmm.
2K.
Yeah.
And pass back. Luffy again gonna have to heal or find an A cost here to save him.
Yeah, but even the 8 cost now is gonna be somewhat troublesome, right? Because we are back to having two solid swingers in.
Absolutely. I mean, another 9 cost here could definitely help. Again, deals with that 6 cost Big Mom. Basically resets the situation for Luffy, but now he gets presumably a Sanji on the board. Yep, there it comes. Is it going to be a 9 cost? No, it's the 8 cost category. This could be a big opening for the Nami here.
Okay.
What do you think? Do you think he has an opportunity to split?
I'm okay. So we got a 7 and a 5 swing, right? So effectively, it's two tens. We get to go. Sorry, two sixes. We get to go 11 with each of them if we want, or we get to go 10, 12. Hand size from Asmir has remained somewhat stable, which is gonna make things a bit more complicated. We probably have about 5 cards in hand, I think. So it's not extremely likely that we get away with it. Okay. Huh. Gonna be an 8.
Oh, I think this might be a Rush 8 cost Luffy coming down, the new blue one. He runs 2 copies of it in the deck. Could be very strong here. Bounce back one of his 2Ks as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, here it is. That's going to be
Yeah.
a 9K
Okay.
swing at life because he gets the rested Don onto the Luffy here.
We
Picture
get the
Joji bounce the
okay.
Zeus very strong and 9K. Alida, I think this might be a block and a 2K here from Asmir. There it
Okay.
is.
Okay, now is when the snowballing actually starts to happen. We do have a blocker that gets to swing into board. We do have two 9Ks. We could genuinely even like try and go for life this turn if we wanted to. It's not really the plan you want to be going for, but it's feasible with the size of your board. So it's all gonna come down to what he finds. But now is the turn where if we manage to play a Nami and just leave Fordon open, it's gonna be very, very difficult to die on the clapback, right? Like we're gonna be taxing Nami's hand a lot by swinging probably at the Lin Lin, just a couple of nines over there, and then this spare one can either go to Luffy or to life to guarantee lethal next turn. But we are on the final sprint of the game, basically. Need some
Yeah,
counter.
I'd agree. Although Asmir's hand's looking pretty thin there. I think that might only be 3 cards in hand, 3 or 4 cards. So I think there's still an opening for Nami to win here with only that. Yep, that's looking like 3 cards in hand. We know he picked up the gear 2 there, so that is definitely a threat to protect his life. But if Luffy doesn't develop an extra life here or another blocker, yeah, this could leave an opportunity for Nami to even split with the pudding,
Yeah,
possibly get it.
going 10 into that Luffy.
And
Ooh,
yeah,
double
Nami's doing a
2K.
good job here, just protecting it, trying to force out as much Don as he can from Asmir, just to make sure he doesn't develop his board. He either commits to getting rid of this Luffy or develops another blocker. And he's only got 8 Don now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that's 5 Don committed already. So could this just be a? I'm not sure what blocker this could be because he can't play the 6 cost Sanji blocker. If he plays Nami, he doesn't have a Don available for his gear 2. That would be very risky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the line is from the Luffy here.
Doffy. We are running for Doffies of three
Of
cost Doffies, right?
course, we saw it earlier. The 3 cost Dofi blocker. Let him look at the top
There we
five.
go.
There it is. Good memory. Good memory.
Mm-hmm. It's it's quite good as well because you get to leave two done up, and we're running some number of like Thunder Bagua as well as the other events, so we do get like an easy 4K counter represented. And now it's gonna basically. Ooh, I was just gonna try to think of whether I want to swing that 6K this turn, but I guess since Nami has gone down to 3 cards in hand, you're probably in lethal range anyways.
Well, something I
Um,
forgot here. I think Asmir might recall it. I believe that top life was the one set up by Hiyori on Nami's 5 Don turn.
hmm.
So that
Yeah, after
very
the
well
second
could be a
Hiyori
Kikunojo that could have absolutely won the
wrecked the
game
chest.
for Ben here.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be very good memory if he's playing around that.
Yeah, I mean, we do still have two blockers up, right? So we need to find the red rock, and we only have one left in deck. So I'm not sure how much that would change the math. We also have seen no kid in the game at all for Nami. So like I feel like eventually we're gonna draw into one, and it's not what we want to be doing right now. Huh.
That's absolutely true. I'm not sure if while he was saving the Luffy, if he countered up with the Zeus there, the Zeus could be pretty good here. Knocks out that Dofi blocker.
No, I saw a
Yes,
yeah.
there it is.
No, I saw Hiyori and Beish for the double counter. Then we should be good.
Very nice.
Go
This could
for
be a draw
lethal.
into the Red Rock, though. He had 2 opportunities for it, bottom life and then top of the deck. This could put Luffy in a pretty awkward position. We know it could be a pretty awkward Gum Gum Giant here. If he uses that, he has to trash the gear 2 we know is in his hand. So just a
Yeah.
6k poke here could force out some awkward counter.
Hmm. Yeah, I think we are on poking territory. Even two 6Ks would do some work now. Ooh.
Just swings big. How much is that? That's 611 at leader.
Hmm. Yeah, that basically puts you exactly out of gear 2 range if you block with category.
He
We'll
just
just
blocks
let
and
it.
lets it go. That is a great way to get rid of that category blocker. And just a cheeky 6 poke. This could be a gear 2.
Yeah, it kind of has to be right.
I think if he had another counter here, he would have played it by now. Yep, that's the gear two. Again, Asmir left with one card in hand. Of course, he's going to draw two from his leader ability, but it's a pretty tough spot here.
Yeah,
I think his only out here might be going for lethal. He has three swings, even with Nami's leader ability. She might not be able to counter out here. But no, just going to clear board, clear that pudding out the way. I think that's the only tangible threat on Nami's board. But with this little cards in hand, split with the Hiyori, the Zeus, and the leader, could take it.
yeah. I'm trying to think if we're still playing around that Kiku, right? We do want to get Nami down to one life this turn if we can, even to zero. If we do have those choices, and we can even do that while representing a 10 cost Rush Luffy. But yeah, Big Mom was probably the card we wanted to see here. I guess my main question mark now is I'm not sure we swing now. I feel like if we were gonna swing, we needed to swing before. Because
So he
that's a
doesn't
Kiku,
swing.
right? So if we swing first and that Kiku makes it to the board, we actually could have gotten rid of Kiku instead of Zeus. Although I guess with one card in hand, even with the life, it doesn't really make a hit different. That Zeus and leader split means two 9k swings, which is probably enough to get you, or like an 8k and a 10k.
But instead, he plays another Rush Luffy. I believe that's the second copy of it. Bounces back Hiyori to his hand, puts Arrested Don.
I think he put a standing down actually. Yep, yep.
Oh, 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 the judge in me is saying that you're not allowed to do that, but we'll let it slide.
Mhm. Okay, chat is asking me for lethal in this specific place, but who do you want me to think of the lethal for, Jake? Nami um, or Luffy? I guess it was the question about is it worth going lethal with that Hiyori?
I don't know. There's a lot of Don to invest there. But no, this was absolutely great play from Nami here. Got two cards of a hand. That was a 2K and a 1K. So no events unless he shows one here that he picks up. And again, gonna have to find either a 9 cost Big Mom, a 8 cost Katakuri, just off these last four cards that he's looking at, or potentially bottom deck them and hope for a great top deck. No, he's putting them back on top. So we know he's got Sanji in hand on one other card he's seen. This could be make or break for the Luffy here.
Okay.
That's a 6K swing, presumably at life. This could be an easy leader ability here. Pitch a brick. No, he pitches a counter. That 2 costs each.
All in hand. Yeah, and we're starting to swing into the Luffy. That's gonna be 3 9s at it.
Does Nami have all the 2Ks? That's two 2Ks. Do they have a third? 2 cards left in hand.
That is terrifying stuff.
No, he's swinging big. He's committing to getting rid of this Luffy. Gets rid of it. And is this going to be 6 for the Sanji? Yeah.
Okay. There's some more windows for this. Gravity Blade actually might do the trick.
Yeah, Gravity Blade, swing 8 at leader. That would be GG. Because Luffy here doesn't have a Don standing, so we know it's not a gear 2 to save him. Oh, if this is a Grav Blade, this could be pretty sweet from the Nami. But I think he
Yeah,
would have played it by now.
yeah, I feel like if it's Crab Blade um uh, uh, or Red Rock, we're basically on it. Hmm.
but it doesn't look like it. So I don't know what the play here from Nami instead is. Just looking at the deck list, if he does bring out a couple of one cost
Loss.
laws, that could do it. Sorry, I was just a bit confused. Was that just
Pass.
16 at leader? 14 at leader, sorry. Just big swing.
Like it.
Oh,
Why
this
did
gives
we?
Luffy an opportunity to stabilize here.
Hmm. Oh, we're on timer. Are we looking for it? Doesn't look like the right timer. All right.
I'm interested to know what why Nami held up the Dom there. Maybe it's just a bluff.
Could
I mean,
be.
Slay's Arrow doesn't do anything here because he doesn't have a board.
We are taking the 6 for the Kikunojo.
Oh, that's surprising. That definitely gives Luffy an out here for lethal, but no, he plays the 9 cost, heals 1. He's back to 1 card left in hand and bounces the Kikunojo. 8 cost could here? Could it finally hit the board? He's got 4 in his deck. Yes,
There we
there it is.
go. And that's
Just
gonna
putting
be
in this gear 2
7 life.
or a 2K.
Oh,
He
he got
gets
it.
it. The Nami gets
He
it.
got
Oh,
it. That was a ridiculous consecution of pings towards the end. I thought Luffy was running away with it at this point. Like this was the 10. Where you go the whole thing. Yeah, no.
honestly, I think the play of the game there was the Hyori so early on to set up that Kikunojo halted a lot, not just some of Luffy's early attacks, but as we saw there, some of his late attacks. He was so afraid of swinging into life, getting another body down that he couldn't deal with. So that really helped the Nami stabilize for a couple of turns, find their answers, put a bit more pressure on. So that
I
was
also
amazing there.
I also believe that initial 6K swing going through basically determined the rhythm of the game. Like Luffy had to play on the defensive the whole game because of it, right? Like I don't know if there was any 1K or 2K that you could have dropped on that spot, but the fact that we weren't too light from that early basically meant we had to big mom as much as we humanly could, and he never had any leniency. Like we were we were trying to get Nami to a spot where lethal was feasible, but that presence of the Kikunojo or alleged presence of the Kikunojo meant that you couldn't really swing safely unless you took that risk. And given that even the lethal with Zeus would have been troublesome on that turn where it was placed to life with Big Mom, I don't see a way that Asmir could have navigated out of that towards the end of the game. And the culprit were those initial turns, as you mentioned. That Hiyori making sure that Nami was kept healthy, and that first swing is slightly putting up the pressure to capitalize with that pudding play afterwards. Yeah, it's massive how much of a difference those first couple turns made.
Absolutely. And I'm just thinking back to that last turn there. The Luffy played the 9 cost Lin to heal again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that might not be in the right play there because he knows that if an 8 cost kid comes down, that's it, GG, because he's only got 1K in hand. He can't counter out the 7K swing. So I think once he did take the hit, triggered the Kikunojo, you had 3 9K bodies on board. He had 2 9 cost Linlins and a Sanji. The opponent only has 2 life, and I think it was only 3 cards in hand. I think he would
Mm,
have just gone for the lethal there.
yeah, I
So
I think it
Yeah,
was an aura counter at this point. Counter at this point, right? Because if I'm gonna go for lethal, knowing how Nami works, right? Like you get a free 2K every turn. Like whatever you choose in hand is a 2K. So just going 16 to 5 and them taking, it's terrifying. It's just pretty much telling you those 9K bodies you have on board. I don't care. Those are fine. I'm gonna counter out. You're not killing me this turn.
absolutely. It's about sending a message.
Yeah. I feel like it might be a bit too much of a risky message to send because I do think there was like a genuine chance of Ben dying if he didn't counter that specific swing. But you know, it's kind of alright. You just need to get out of the other swings. But yeah, I feel like a 9, 11, 13, or like maybe like 10, 12, 14. I'm not even running numbers, but I feel like those three bodies could get through those final two live like a lot easier.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see if Asmir can find the lethal in game two here. Looks like, despite him having the choice there, the Luffy player had the choice here, but decided to go second and let the Nami go first. Nami plays down a law blocker and then goes AK swing next turn. Of course, the Luffy takes, doesn't want to drop two cards on that. Gives Nami the card draw. And this is a blocker Dofi from the Luffy player. Again, doesn't swing with the 6K. Maybe he really is
Yeah.
afraid of that early Kikinojo, even though it hasn't been set up on life yet.
Yeah, I don't think Darwin is a workable plan into Nami, right? Because we're gonna get draws of leader ability some way or another. Ooh, that's fun. More pressure.
Oh, that Nojiko is so good in this deck.
Mm-hmm.
Two Don to just nullify that three Don play. Absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful. And then it's just there around, sticking around, ready to be picked back up from that 8 cost rush Luffy. Really good. But the blue purple Luffy player, early counter out here with the gear 2. That could have really helped him here with the ramp. But does he have another one? No, he doesn't. He just plays the Dofi again.
Mm.
So that's only
Yeah.
one ramp for the Luffy player. Does only puts him on 7 Don, so he still doesn't have his leader ability active. So
Yeah,
he's in
that's
a pretty tough spot here.
it's kind of a bit rough. I feel like the reasoning for going second here is just because we're not running Sora right? So it's quite difficult to actually get away with a triple ramp if you're going first, while a double should be more manageable. But we just saw the double ramp miss, so we're kind of on the same spot. And on this, it just seems like it might have been a bit better to run first and take a bit of the aggression off. Um, and it's slightly complicated. Nami definitely wants to go first, so I feel like just taking that away would would have been a bit more valuable. Okay.
Yeah, Nami definitely wants to get those early swings in, but now it's just poking and just hard plays at Kikanoja. A very sticky body, very
Um,
worthwhile. And a Zeus, is this going to be on the blocker or on the Bon Clay? What do you think?
I was assuming blocker just because on the one hand we want to keep poking, so like any blocker that stays there, it's gonna make trouble. But also we've not been swung at by Luffy at all, so like I wouldn't be scared of that Bon Clay hitting us right now. So yeah, I think it's fair. Just get rid of the blocker, make sure that you still play some pressure onto blue purple before they start doing shenanigans.
Absolutely.
Ooh,
It's yet another reason why I don't think the staff plan was very good here because the Zeus just picks that life back up and
yep,
draws him a card. But this is a Sanji into Linlin here quite
tough
early
lead.
on, bottoms the Kikanojo. That might come out later, could be good for lethal, but for now, just takes some of the aggression off Luffy, and I think he's in a much better position than in game one. Remember in game one, his play was Bon Clay Nami. This is a
Yeah,
much better board.
definitely a lot more powerful on the 9 on turn, and now is when things get actually quite scary, isn't it? We are gonna be reaching the leader ability time, and we already have two 9Ks and Von Clay on board. Uh,
Absolutely. So the Luffy can take a bit more of the aggression here because they're at 3 life. It's like they never even took that first hit.
No.
So good for them. So even if an ACOS kid comes down here, I don't think it's going to be enough. But it's going to do something. It's going to help.
Yeah.
Let's see what Ben does. Looks like it's tap 6 for the big mom.
First
Gives
one.
Asmir a interesting choice here, and he chooses to take the life.
So leader ability draw. Yeah. And now we're gonna swing at life again, I guess. Only a 6.
Keeping 2 done up. Could that be...
Another Zeus to get back Kiku, maybe? Oh, Hiyori. I see.
Very nice. Could stack another Kikunojo.
Mm-hmm. Always
2
doing some work
Kikunojo in
there.
life is pretty good. Or we know he runs a beige. The beige um, trigger could be very useful here. Stop the one of the 9Ks from swinging.
Mm-hmm. Ah, there's one thing I'm not like in love with on this spot. It's like Kiku. Sorry, Hiyori lets you draw your bottom life as well as your top one. So I'm thinking, just for the sake of information, you might have wanted to just go pick up that Kikunoyo and place it on top instead.
Of course, yeah.
Just to
But
keep things guessing. Well, not guessing, but without giving extra bits and pieces of intel.
oh, it's another Kikunojo. I'm guessing that's why he wanted to leave the one on the bottom. Just wanted to make sure he had 2 in life. Make it really awkward for Leafly to plan out these lethals without getting killed on the crackback. But I think Leafy's very afraid of that. They've got the
Now we're
board
gonna
and
see.
they're time to stabilize here. And we're just seeing the 9K pokes starting now at Nami and taking a lot of life here. All going to force out a lot of cards in hand.
Hmm. Yeah, this is.
That's a good block there. Make use of it before it gets
Oh no.
Usohachi'd or even Big Mom. But a number Big Mom gets rid of the 6 cost Big Mom. This is looking pretty dire for the Nami here.
Yeah, I think we are out of windows. Like, we have a very healthy hand size, but I don't think there's enough health in the world to deal with this board. We are very far from lethal. Oh, we're losing to Kikunayo. That's interesting.
Very interesting. I think at this point, the Kikunojo is pretty moot. I
Hmm.
don't think you even care about KOing it and giving your opponent a life. You're at the point now where you stabilize. You'd rather just get a bigger body off the board, but you know what? I
It
think
doesn't
it's Luffy's game to lose here, so he can do whatever he wants. I mean, over the last 2 turns, he's developed 4 9K bodies and basically kept hand neutral. That is the insane power of blue purple Luffy once it gets to this position.
Yeah, this is the deck doing what it's supposed to be doing. This is how powerless it feels not to be playing the the Luffy deck, right? You are just seeing that happen pretty much live. Even though the first couple of plays weren't as powerful, just the fact that Nami didn't have a strong start means that they get to do this comfortably. And yeah, now things are complicated.
Yeah, but really respect Ben keeping it going here with the Nami, still trying to find an out. You know, it's never over until the last life is taken. So he's still trying to find the lethal here, just poking him down for a 7, for an 8. And it's just take. The Luffy's really not afraid of dying here with 1 done up. Still got a life. And that's pretty good here. Gets
Yeah.
down another life. Can we also... Did the Nami draw a card from the first 2 takes from Luffy's life? I can't remember if they did. I assume so, but it is
I
quite
know
easy to forget in these later turns where you're just thinking about lethal and just pushing. You're not really thinking about your leader ability. So I'm not too sure.
that is a fair point. I know Chat mentioned it a bit before that they might have forgotten. Um, I'm hoping that's not the case. there is a relatively healthy hand size, and also we did have a lot of cards in hand the previous turn because of the swings that we took. So it's possible that that didn't quite happen, but I'd expect Ben to have remembered, especially if we have used that teach to get those two down attached. Like you're just
Oh,
placing
of
the card on top
course.
and redrawing it. I think if we go down below the 7 cards again. Okay, how the fun begins.
All the big swings. Going to force out a lot of counter here from the Nami. Although, if they can hold on, counter some key swings here, maybe bait out a few more swings to get the Kikanojos out. And if the Luffy doesn't have an answer to this could be just some splitting of Dawn trying to find the lethal here. But yeah, the Luffy's quite confident. Doesn't trigger the Kikanojo here.
I think we basically won that as a 2K counter, right? Yeah, there we go. That turns Nami into leaderability. You're telling that you have no breaks in hand. Uh, yeah, 2K, 2K, 1K, and we have a 7K leader for the turn. 2K, 1K again, probably.
No,
Okay.
still no counter in hand.
Yeah, that's game.
Oh,
That's
that's the tempo that we expect from a blue purple Luffy.
mhm.
Get down 4 9K bodies over 2 turns, and then just start poking for huge numbers.
Yeah, yeah. Also, Asmir like correctly identified. We're in lethal range now, and this time was able to capitalize on it without being scared of the Kikunojo, just because we managed to get to our Sanji turns on 2 life and got back up to 3 with that big mom. This just feels overtuned for this game. Like just seeing it live and happen this way just makes me unsettled somehow. But yeah, really good play.
Doesn't mean we get a game 3 though,
Mm-hmm.
which is always great to see. Evenly matched here, 1-1. We can see he takes it in the third game. I think it still might be the blue purple Luffy has the edge here. But, you know, if the Nami player can get that aggression that they got in game 1, we can only hope and pray.
Yeah, I think that was basically we've seen the early turns define the game, right? And it was more from the Nami side than from the blue purple. Like if Nami's able to keep up with the aggression and set up some relatively big bodies early on, we're good. And we might need to see a pudding thwart the plans, specifically because you get extra pudding value if there's been a Duffy play the turn before, right? Like this insane Sanji Linlin turn cannot happen if you pudding them right after that setup turn, because it's not only the cards, the amount of cards in hand goes down, but also that recently set up top 5 is unknown again, so you don't get to do those shenanigans.
Absolutely. It's always lovely to see that. So it
Mm-hmm.
looks like the players are ready, almost ready to go. Oh no, the blue purple Luffy is going for the mulligan here. And it looks like the Nami player is going first. It seems like they've gone first all 3 games here. BenC's taken first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So clearly the players have a curve that they like. They've had a gentleman's agreement. I'll go first, you go second, and we'll say no more. Which is always great to see.
Yeah. Ooh, we got the Shigan emote for Abster. Oh, sorry, we didn't say welcome, Abster, but we're looking forward to your game right after this one. Although I'm quite focused on this one now. I'm very invested. I'm obviously. I think you rubbed some of the Nami bias on me as well, and I'm feeling like I want the underdog to take the game. But we'll see how it happens.
Everyone loves an underdog story.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we start with blocker again. I don't hate this because it's efficient, but it does feel like we are not quite on the same situation as before. Let's see if the 5 don't play gives us some extra juice.
Gonna be gear 2 ramp, not the Dofi to start with. Going for the ramp. This puts Luffy in a pretty good position here, going from what was that? 4 Don to 5 Don, gonna be at 7 Don next turn.
Hmm. And that
Pretty
means that
strong.
if we play any like decent targets for God Thread, we are on our way to leaderability.
Absolutely. Well, it's a
What's your
shame he
best?
doesn't have another Don active. A great thing to do is always have 2 Don up, 2 life, and the unexpected ramp from a Thunder Bagua
Hmm.
is always great on the people, blue purple Luffy side. But
Well,
Nami here with 5 Don just plays the pudding.
huh,
I think that's pretty
okay,
good. I think the Luffy had 7 cards in hand.
yeah.
5, 6, 7.
Give
Yeah,
one
I think it was
second.
7 cards in hand. So that's still pretty good value.
Yeah, although we didn't really see any of the setup. I mean, I do like it anyways, right? Because now a 6 swing means either I go down to 4 cards in hand, or I take life and I'm on one. So we need to see some ramp on this 5. We need to see some counter on this 5, or to just take some bigger risks. And Pudding can poke on 6 with some ease as well. So
Yeah, it's a decent threat on the board.
mhm. Okay.
Oh, he finds another gear 2 there, though. That
No,
is
I mean,
unfortunate.
that's okay. It's inefficient countering, right? Like we know 2 of them are out of the loop now for countering a bit later. And Asmir only have 5 cards, completely random. Will
That
what
is
would you
true.
find?
That was essentially just a 1K counter. So maybe that shows that outside of that Mr. 2 he just played, maybe he doesn't have a lot of counter in hand. Maybe it's time for just some pokes with this Nami.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate for Nami though, because we did see 2 ramp spells on those random 5 cards, right? Like because we did see the gear 2 that if we take the left we could use to guarantee leader ability next turn, but we also saw the Bone Clay, so we could use either of them as counter, and the other one would just ramp us. So we are effectively in the danger zone for Luffy, and the leader ability is fully up. Now we keep poking. Oh,
There's Thunder Bagua, gives him a ramp, but not super relevant at the moment. Takes him from 8 to 9. And then, the 6 cost Big Mom. Puts a lot of pressure on the Luffy here. I think, because the Luffy's only got 3 cards in hand, he might opt to just trash the life
yeah.
and gives Nami the draw here. I think Luffy is looking for the 9 cost Big Mom here. If he does find it, deals with that 6 cost Big Mom, puts him in a really good position, especially if he combos the Sanji with it. This could be a make or
Yeah.
break turn for him.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to the Sanji, I think. And this is a lot of doubts for that kind of turn.
Absolutely. Maybe he didn't find the 9 cost Big Mom. I mean, an 8 cost Katakuri would also help. Ooh, but there finds a Sanji. We'll see if he can
Yeah.
combo with anything with these 4 cards he sees on the top of his deck.
We are down to 3 cards in hand, though. We're gonna go up to 4 with that Sanji 5 for turn, but playing 1 back to 4. If Big Mom is not there, we're still in a kind of a sticky situation.
Ooh, very good for Ben here. Only gets the Nami off the top deck. Still a pretty good blocker. Lets him draw 3, put 2 at the top or bottom. Sets up for the next one. No, he just puts 2 bad cards at the bottom of his deck, filters his hand a bit. But this is definitely a good opening for Ben here.
Yeah. Yeah. And that replaces itself, so we're back on 5 cards in hand, right?
4 cards in hand because he played the Sanji as well.
But Nami draws 3 and
Oh
gets
yes, you're
2,
right.
so you're card
5,
neutral.
4, 7, 6, 5. You're right. So that's still a pretty healthy hand size for Luffy here. But we know how well Nami can deal with 5 costs. Could be a Nojiko, could be a Zeus. Zeus could be
Yep.
very strong here as he's at 4 life. Tops up his hand. Or it could just be an A-cost kid.
Yeah.
Could be very good here. But no,
With
he
Zeus.
taps the 2. Is this going to be a Zeus?
Oh, it's a
No.
Teach. Plus 8 cost
Teach.
kid? Maybe?
He doesn't have the Don for the A-cost kid now. He's only got 7 Don. So this could be
Oh,
another Big
true.
Mom.
Hmm.
Swing 8, play out 6 cost. Although if you're going to play out the Big Mom, you'd have to play it first, because if he takes this life, that 6 cost is pretty useless now.
He does take it. I mean, we can just swing with Pudding, I guess. Ooh.
Red Rock the Sanji? Yeah, pretty good.
Eh, yeah, that big
Really
mom's good.
putting the aggression on Blue Purple Luffy here. Again, putting him on that. Do you have an 8 cost Katakuri or a 9 cost Big Mom? If not, you're in real trouble here.
Yeah, it's starting to look like Nami's got enough pressure in there. 2K. Okay.
Yusahachi, not bad. Definitely need as much counter as you can with Blue Purple Luffy. A lot of bricks in that deck. But we'll see if he can develop the board here. What do you think is the best option for the Blue Purple Luffy at the moment?
I think you need to go through a Lilin to deal with the Lilin effectively on these spots. I'm not sure we need to go through a Sanji on this specific turn, and obviously Katakuri would be a great option. But like being at 0 life with 2 blockers, it's still a bit scary if you cannot get rid of that 7 swinger. We are have some cards in hand, so there's that. Oh, okay.
Mihawk. Oh no. So he's got 1 blocker, no life. Does get rid of the 6 cost Big Mom, but only 1 Don up. I think that's 6 cards in hand. If he deals
And
with this Nami blocker here, this could leave a huge opening for Ben.
as Zeus is effectively a 15k swing at life, right?
Yes, because he has the teach down as well. So even that 2 Don that he taps to get rid of the Nami blocker, he can just attach it right back to leader. And yeah, like you said, 15k. So he could Gum Gum Giant here to go up to 10, but then he still needs 3 2ks. That will really eat at the Luffy's hand.
Yeah. We could
Let's
also
see if
split
Ben
it,
has it.
but we're gonna go through 2 10s with Pudding, so it would be less counter needed over there. We know of a 2k already. Hmm.
This is interesting to know. He tries to clear the Mr. 2.
Okay.
Very wise, get that off the board. That could be a big swing later on. Get rid of it while you can.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out if we have a nicer play to be doing right now. I wouldn't hate the rush Luffy, I guess, although it's not ideal either. I let you do kind of an 8-9 swing with Titch if you want to. Okay.
Chiozu. Very interesting. Bounces the Nami blocker back to hand. Doesn't have as much Don to go for a lethal swing here. He's got 4 and then 2 from the teach. Like 6 Don go 11. That's a Gum Gum Giant and a 2k. Still some cards out of hand, and a Gum Gum Giant out of hand is always good.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, it goes category.
Yep, I think that's a pretty good trash. It's always hard to play that from hand as Luffy. You've always got better things to do. And that's really good to get rid of. And then he 2K counters with that Usohachi we saw earlier. And
Kind of a bit
now the
too.
Luffy, Asmir here, has a bit more time to find his 9 cost Big Mom and heal up.
I wonder what was hand size at that point. I think it might have been 6 cards in hand, or maybe just 5.
I think it was 6 cards.
Maybe 7 with the Nami.
Oh, potentially. Oh, yes, because he bounced the Nami back to hand. And now Asmir thinks he's got a big enough board now that he can just go for the swings, stop starving, and just try
Does
to put down that lethal. Is Ben going to take again? A Kikanojo trigger could be pretty good. Good from here. He does take. No trigger.
that is sad. Are we finding the Lilin? We are.
Ooh, gets rid of that Jozu as well in a perfect cost spot to get rid of. This is a rough position for Nami to be in.
Yeah, definitely not ideal, and we have enough cards for 6 cards Lilin not to do the trick. So, is our best plan to just go kid into teachability
Yep,
and
I think that's a good
9?
call here. Get rid of the life, draws in 1. With teachability as well, he can do an 8K swing and even leave a Don up for maybe another law blocker. Could be pretty good for him here.
Oh, we're going
Nope, he's just
to.
going for the 9K swing, gets another giant out of hand.
That's not bad because that puts us back on 7 done, so there's no leader ability, but I feel like now it's just coming down to either lethal or not. Ugh.
True, getting that missed leader ability turn is really good. And yeah, like you said, I think this Luffy's either got to heal up again with just a 9 cost Big Mom that he has in his hand, because I think an 8 cost Katakuri might not do it. Or he's just going for lethal here, and I think he might just testing the waters here, just getting some 9K swings, see if he can just get the lethal.
Yes.
Oh, he
Okay.
does pitch the red rock. And I think that is unless I'm getting my games mixed up, that is the second red rock.
No, you're right about that. We did bottom deck Sanji, so that means that the blocker is pretty much uncontested there.
Because Asmir here doesn't know specifically that Ben only runs 2 red rocks. So he might still fear a third one coming down. I mean, I personally run 3 red rocks. So could happen.
And it is
Um,
good timing to run them. Okay, so we have defended those two.
yep, a lot of counter out of hand there. I think that's 5 cards out of hand there now.
Mm-hmm.
Nami's only got 2 cards left in hand, but he's still going for these swings. I think this might be on the kid now, knowing he can't get the lethal.
Yeah, you might need to go in that direction. Yeah. Oh no, we're still going live. I mean, I guess you're representing that Nusuhachi, right?
Absolutely. And here's the block. It's going to force the Luffy to attach some Don to get rid of this kid, which means that he doesn't develop anything outside of maybe a Nami blocker or a Dofi blocker. And, you know, a Nojiko, a Zeus, top deck could end up losing him the game here. So I think this kid might end up surviving in favor of maybe developing another 9 cost Big Mom.
I feel like we need a category now, right? Because we don't have Don up with Nanko's Big Mom. That kid plus Nami might be enough to stop all shenanigans. Okay,
Oh, looks
that's
like it's
not.
a Dofi blocker. Looks at top five. Not the best again. Can be bounced, can be KO'd. But he's got, what's that? 6 Don left open. So could be another Nami blocker with 1 Don left open. That's going to be really hard for Ben to get rid of.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Cody
figure.
Jones would be really good in this spot.
Yeah, definitely. That would definitely cook. Ben needs a Zeus. Ben needs a Zeus, I think, to take this game away. We're living on top.
I mean, this could just be leaving 6 Don open for the Luffy here, saying, look, I have counter cards in hand. I have 2 more giants in my deck. And you know what? I could play 1 giant, search into the other giant, and a lot of Gear 2s and Thunder Bagwers. You're probably not killing me. And that's pretty dangerous. Nope, he
No.
is playing something. Yep, there's the Nami blocker.
And will it lift
2
the cards on
blockers,
top?
1 Don
So
up.
that's gonna be debricking us quite a bit. Mm, there we
Absolutely.
go.
That's a lot of filter for cards in
Double.
hand. So he should have a lot of counter in this hand. So what are you thinking for Ben here? Do you think he just has to go for the lethal?
Yeah, I don't think we can survive swing anymore. So we just need to go on map for the lethal. Have 1 Dawn up, which might mean 1 giant puts us out of our misery. And if we don't have a way to deal with either of the blockers, right? If we don't have a Zeus or an Ojiko, that basically means we have 10 Dawn to split. We have a 9k swinger, a 3k swinger, and a 5k swinger. So
Yeah, looks like he is just splitting. And this, I assume, is just going to be an easy block with the Dofi here.
yeah, 12 Zeus 12 is probably our best bet here. Yeah,
Yep,
there we
tap
go.
2,
Oh, no, you
Nojiko.
go. Yeah.
That is quite sad. Gives him an extra counter.
Mm-hmm. And 12 again.
That giant is not what you want to see. We know he has 1k counter with the Nami blocker, but maybe he just doesn't find any more counter. No, there's
There
a
we go.
2k.
That's enough. Yep.
That is enough.
And that's game. So close yet so far. We did have more than enough counter. That was like 2k, 2k, 1k, 1k still left after the giant. Ah, okay. I'm gutted, but that was some really good games. And this final one was